Good morning, traders. This is Perry Wilkie with StartupTrading.com. It is 8:44 a.m. Eastern Time on Monday, August 30th. Just going back and looking at the massive run up that we've had coming out of that pandemic low last year, and really we've been just stuck in this channel, which is a good thing for us traders, right? It's been pretty predictable as we come back in here. Eventually, we're going to break out of this channel to the downside, and we're going to, you know, either have a generational top that's put in, which is, I think, technically more than likely than not, or we'll just get a deeper pullback, a longer consolidation, maybe a 6 or an 8 month sell off under this high. But until we break out of this channel, right, you just keep playing the channel. That's just the game that's been on since basically April of last year. So a lot of traders, and I think wrongly so, and time will prove it out, right? They're still looking at this 4,000 area, right, that needs retested down in here. And I'll do it this way so you can see the gap here, right? We got, a separate distribution. So to be honest with you, I think this creates, a little bit, excuse me, different opportunity here. But what we have is you can see where this high volume node over here, right? The bottom of that node is at, or the top of that node, right, is right around 4240 now. Even hitting 4240 now is going to get outside of this uptrend channel. You can see we've only been outside of it once to the downside, and we spent basically about 5 days under it, and that was last October. So if you need a bigger pullback, right, I think to keep the channel intact, what you need is a touch of the top of the channel, right, and maybe even pierce to be able to get a pullback. You can see the last serious pullback we had. The high was put in last September, and then we went down and hit the bottom of the channel, come back up to the top of the channel, back down to the bottom of the channel, and by the end of October, you know, we were, some nice volatility came into the market at that point in time. So the bottom of the channel, and I think we should be basically aware of where this is right now, is at 43.10 is where it is right now. We're not even going to, come down and sniff this support at 42.40. That's, 70 points below the bottom of this channel at this point in time. So looking at it just on the normal way, the profile, where, after this pullback and come up, we're, close to the profit target, right? That profit target, first profit target's 45.36. It is in sight now, right, on our daily projections for the floor trader pivots. We could definitely get into that. So we'll see if we hit that in the next few days, and we'll see if we can hit that before non-farm payroll, and maybe get some distribution up there, and see if we can get a little bit of a pullback heading into non-farm payroll. I think that would be nice for us traders this week. Looking at the Russell, right, we were struggling at 2252 for a long time. That should be the floor now, right? We have no business, the bulls, right, letting this get under 2252 now if this breakout is going to hold to the upside. So above here, I have a couple levels we haven't looked at. 2283 is one that is above there for me, and then 2301, 2312, and 2329 is what I'd like to see go up. And so we'll see if we start stair stepping above here. You can see just going back on the chart to the left, this 83 was a previous high, and basically not too much above there, around 85 was a previous low. And the market really fell out of bed right around 2305. If you have Jack's trade room indicators, the leg starts, that's really where this leg started down. So That's going to be a tell when the market does return to 2305, and we'll see what happens at that point in time. Looking at the ES, I've added a band up here, and I'll zoom into the area of the chart up here. I've added a band up here between 44.85 half and 44.92 half, right? That's going to be one of these support resistance bands that ends up, that ends up being major support resistance. So the break of 44.85 half is going to be a little bit more problematic, and then you can see that, to the downside, I would say nothing's really going to change until you take out this swing low that was from this last measured move up, all right, or this last move up that Jack identified pretty much to the tick here at 62 quarter, right? That was a swing low overnight over here, and just come back up and nailed it. So that's going to be problematic getting under that swing low because it'll take out a lot of momentum. Looking at the NASDAQ, I've added a band up here between 15,332 and 15,383. So as we look at that, that's going to be one of those support resistance bands. And you can see those swing lows from last week again at 15,250 basically. That's going to be really where you start getting stuck and backing and filling a little bit. Until then, I think 15,332 should be a hold. I wouldn't, give up, just put a stop on there. Was a little bit of a risk. It really shouldn't break much below 15,300. So right in that little zone should be the floor, and maybe 10 points up from that. So right around those 40 points, right above 15,000, basically 300 to 340, should be where this has some major support for a while, right? Breaking under that's going to end up giving this overhead supply, and then we should back and fill back down to that close to 15,100 to 200. Looking at the Dow's not breaking out yet, so 35,547 is really what it needs to get above to start printing some all-time highs. We'll see if it can actually do that this week or not, but basically right now it's just treading water above 35,390. And then it starts having some problems. To be honest with you, it really doesn't have any significant problems until it breaks below 35,000. And then it's got lots of support. So it's just more choppy, I think, and a little bit more predictable. So I would just watch these bands still. And I don't see it really getting taken out, right? Getting under the 35,000 is going to be, a little bit more problematic, but you're just playing back and forth in these bands, and I think you're just going from one band to the next. So the title of the video is Great Britain Bank Holiday. Woohoo! So as we look at the overnight action, and I'm going to give you these numbers from another computer here. We've got 103,000 contracts for the ES so far overnight, which is fairly light, right? So as we look at that, with the Great Britain bank holiday, it's almost like the U.S. bank holiday. Whether or not the stock market's open, when the banks aren't trading, the institutions really aren't there, right? Some retail traders might be in. There might be a few people in the offices holding down the fort, but basically it's a trader holiday one way or another, and they have not participated in the overnight session whatsoever. So at the euro close, we're usually looking for a drive either higher or lower into the euro close. We might not really get that today. So what that means is we could just tread water, melt up or down a little bit, and have a small range. So overnight, 12.5 points is where the ES range is. And we're just sliding around in this. So the first break point I'm going to look at is right around 45.02 half to 45.03 half. That's a split in the distribution for Friday. Below that, you could go back down to the top of these single prints, which is going to be that 44.92 quarter to 44.8375. That's the area if you end up having a break of 03. Looking at all the indexes, you can see all these green boxes, right? These are all single prints from Friday's session. This single print up here for the Dow is actually single prints that date back to August 16th. So those single prints is what the Dow needs to clear. That's going to be above 35,457. So from 445 to 457 is that next resistance band. You can see that the overnight high is right at 464, which is above that 457, obviously. But you can see that rejection back down in the overnight session. So as we come across here, we're just holding the settlement. It's a weak hold all along. So we'll see if the traders get flushed out a little bit or not. But it's all on the table, and it might be a little bit hard to play. I might not even really take any trades today, or I might wait until the afternoon to see if anything happens. I would like to see some overnight volatility, right? I want to see us either get about a quarter of the range above these overnight highs, right? Or I want to see a test of below the overnight lows. I'm really not interested in taking any positions within where this overnight range traded. I want to see some shakeouts, either the shorts getting taken out, which, right, they've been being taken to the woodshed since Thursday of last week. So the chances that they're going to get have any more fuel is probably not really there on the table, right? If anyone's going to get beat up, it should be the bulls now. But with low volume, right, it's extremely difficult to shake out the bulls, right? You need some high volume, and we haven't had it. So we'll see when the bell rings if we can take advantage of, or if some American institutions take advantage of this overnight action, right, on a thinly traded tape, right, to shake some of these out. So back below these overnight lows and back above this 45.0405, right, would be more what I'd be interested in is playing back, a shallow break and a push back above. Otherwise, I think you're just going to get stuck on an inside day. So we'll see how the state plays out. Again, there might not be many opportunities today, and we'll see how it shakes out. I'll be watching the overnight value areas and but I wouldn't look for a whole lot. Again, that profit target's up at 36, and we might not even be able to hit it today, even on a strong tape to the upside. You guys have a great day, and I'll talk to you tomorrow.